We are continuing on our video series about different women of faith and from different eras in church history. Our episode this past week was on church history with Dr. Michael Hagen, and then I shared about Priscilla from the New Testament and then Enthusa from the early church. And today we're going to take a look at the life of Queen Bertha from the Middle Ages. So this is a picture of her. So Bertha, she lived from 565 to 601 AD. She was born a Frankish princess, so in Old France, to Christian parents. She was known for her beauty and also her devotion to Jesus. She was also well educated. She was able to speak Greek and Latin and knew the poets and spoke to the philosophers at that time. And she ended up marrying the Anglo-Saxon king Ethelbert in 580 AD. Ethelbert was a pagan who worshipped and made sacrifices to the Anglo-Saxon gods. And because Bertha was a Christian, her parents decided, look, they're only going to be able to get married on the condition that Bertha would be allowed to practice her religion, to openly profess her faith, and to worship. Sorry, my children are playing outside. To worship the Lord freely. So she left her home in Paris, went across the water, and arrived in Canterbury, England, with her new husband. Someone had repaired an old chapel from the time of when the Romans were in Britain. So Roman Christians had built it, and they repaired it so she could use it for to worship the Lord there. For those who might not be familiar, back when Britain was a Roman province, Christianity had spread, but when the Romans had to leave and they withdrew from Britain around 400 AD, the land was then overrun by Anglo and Saxon tribes from Northern Europe who weren't Christian. They worshipped their set of gods. So because of this, Pope Gregory the Great, at the time of Bertha, sent missionaries to England in 1596 to restore Christianity there. So when these missionaries, they came to England, they were favorably received by King Ethelbert, mostly because of Bertha's influence and her Christian witness to him. So Queen Bertha, she was really loved and admired by her husband, and because she was gentle and loving to him and just a really good mom, she was just living out her faith and had a huge influence on her husband's life. So the king allowed these missionaries to build a church and a monastery, and they began preaching Jesus to the Anglo-Saxon people. In fact, the king himself placed his faith in Christ and was baptized, and this in turn led to thousands in that kingdom to place their faith in Christ, and then it spread to the surrounding kingdoms in England, which is just amazing. Pope Gregory actually praised Bertha, telling her, she was the one who kindled the hearts of the Britons, to the Christian faith, and it was through her perseverance and just her prudence. He just kept mentioning it was your prudence that just allowed this opportunity to happen and allowed for the salvation of this kingdom and of their souls. So wow, what an incredible testimony of just a young woman. She left her homeland and moved to a pagan land, and I'm sure there was a lot of culture shock and going from just the total difference between even herself and her husband is just very stark. But she brought with her the gospel message, and she was the Queen of Kent, and her positive Christian witness with her husband led to the Christianization of Anglo-Saxon England, and she is known today as England's first Christian queen. The Canterbury website actually says, "It is striking that one who left no writings or speeches and passed no laws could have had such a major influence on the city's importance." So you guys, we just don't know how the Lord is going to use just how we're living out our life, and just in our relationships with our spouses, one spouse hopefully, and children, and just to share gospel hope and strengthen the church. So, but that's what Bertha did. She faithfully served God through just humbly and her godly relationship she had with her husband and children, and that's just really neat to see the influence that we can have. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about Bertha and just one woman from the time of the Middle Ages. It's actually becoming kind of my favorite time of history to read about the women, and there are so many brave queens who have defended the faith in this era. It's just so fascinating to read about them. So I'm actually, in the next video, we're going to look at the life of a woman or two from the time of Reformation who are also kind of like queens. So stay tuned, you guys. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you're enjoying this video. So see ya.